Hey guys, I'm here with Leah this morning. She's one of our incredible platinum leaders. So, Leah, I'd love to know why you actually considered even starting a doTERRA business. Like, what got you interested and made you feel like this was going to be a viable income stream for you?
Initially, well, you know what, the thing is that actually got me interested or even showed me that there was an opportunity, because I just got the oils. I had no idea about business opportunity. But it was actually when two of my really good friends, or my sister-in-law and one of my really good friends, went to one of your classes. And because I'd been, I'd talked to them a little bit about the oil, said that I was getting them, and then they seen your class and they went to your class and you enrolled them under me, using me as the enroller. So that was the first little taste, for me. Like, I had no idea that I could get my oils paid for or anything like that. So I think if you didn't do that and enroll ethically, like, I feel like none of that would have snowballed. So that was like the first thing, because that straight away, gave me a little bit of commission. So I was kind of like, oh, what's going on here? What does this mean? And then, of course, that sparked me into thinking, oh, well, I've got so many more friends that would love these oils, and started that kind of snowball from happening. So, yeah, like, I think if you didn't do that initially, then that probably wouldn't have ticked in my brain. So that's one thing. But also, I was kind of in denial for a long time, even when I started sharing that I was doing the business, because I had literally just finished uni and just started working in my tertiary career as a high school teacher. And I love that. I still love it. So I kind of felt like, oh, I can't just change onto something else when I've literally just finished uni. So I was in denial for ages. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not doing the business. No, I'm not doing the business. But I couldn't stop talking about the oils.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop sharing them with friends, because that's what happens. That's what they do. So I was just naturally sharing the oils, or not even being so much, not even sort of sharing them with people, that more so that I was using them so much and having so many amazing successes with them, that all my friends were like, well, how do we get some? How do we get some? Yeah, so I kind of had that going on, and so things started rolling on in the background. But then I got to a point where I started working full time as a high school teacher, and it was extremely stressful on my family life. I've got two young kids, and my son had just started kindergarten. And the reason why I started teaching in the first place was because I thought, oh, then I'm going to get school holidays with him, and it'll be easier having children if I'm a teacher. But I didn't really think that through properly, because obviously a teacher has a lot longer hours than a student. So my son started kindergarten, and I could not drop him at school ever. I could not pick him up ever. I could never go to assembly. I could never go to anything, because I was at school. I was at my own school. So that created huge stress for me, because I'm a very hands-on parent, and I love to be involved in everything. So that was kind of like destroying me and really stressing me out that I wasn't there for them. So that's what started me to really think, when all of this, I was still sharing behind the scenes, pretending I wasn't doing the business, when all of a sudden I was like, well, hang on, this is actually an amazing opportunity. And even though I love teaching, it's just really not working for me and my family right now. So that's when I really was kind of like, I'm going to give this a red hot go.
Yeah, awesome. Love it. And so how has building a doTERRA business impacted your life and your family?
Oh, amazingly well. I literally wake up every day so excited about life. So it's really given me a passion and a purpose. And, I'm the kind of person that I love to constantly have new things happening and new ideas. And I think you're quite similar, Jessie, in the other night when you were posting these new ideas. I'm like that too, and I get so excited when I've got something new to do and can't sleep, because I'm so excited about creating something new. And that's another thing, like when I was working in my other job, that's what I love about teaching people and teaching in general, is that coming up with new concepts and new ways to teach people things and new ways to support people in learning. But when you're in a career, when you come straight out of uni and then starting teaching, it takes a lot of time before you're given that power.
Yes.
So I suppose something like that's what one of the big things that doTERRA has given me, is that it's given me power. power and purpose to run my life the way that I want to. So I can create awesome things that I think are awesome, and go with it and run with it and do it all. And there's nothing holding me back. There's no guidelines or restrictions. I'm just going to quickly hang that up. Is that okay?
No worries.
There's no guidelines or restrictions holding me back. I can create, I can be creative and do all these things without, you know, something looming over me going, oh, you're not allowed to do that, or you've got to stay within the guidelines. So that's one big thing, is the power that it's given me, you know, and that really builds confidence. You're given so much confidence in this industry. You know, you're given confidence from your upline. Your upline is giving you so much motivation and has so much faith in you, and is always empowering you and lifting you up. And then you're given so much confidence from your downlines, because obviously you generally know a little bit more about the oils than them. So you're teaching them, and that gives you confidence. So it grows you as a person so much. So that's one of the main things that it's given me, is power. Obviously, it's also given me a huge amount of presence. So presence with my children, which I am forever grateful for. So like I drop my children at school every day. I pick them up every day. I'm at every event. Like I can volunteer, I can go in and do reading. I can do all of the things because I am my own boss and I run my own business. So it's given me that presence, which is very, very important to me. And even though, you know, we work really, really hard in this business, it's not saying that it's a walk in the park, but we work really hard. And so obviously there's times when I'm like really, really focused on my business, but I'm present. And I think that there's a big difference between, you know, not being physically there and being physically there. Even if I'm working, I'm physically there for them, so they can reach out to me anytime that they need me, which I think is really awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And the third thing that it's given me, I could probably talk like all day about what it's given me. But the third thing is obviously abundance, you know. So I've stepped away from a tertiary career, you know, a career that I've gone to university for, and I'm creating abundance that I would not have seen in my entire career. And that's been in like less than, you know, 12 months of really, really doing it. So it would take 10 years plus to get to probably the, you know, the amount of abundance that I'm receiving sort of now, and my ability, possibilities are limitless. Like I'm only going to grow. So yeah, the abundance is amazing. And I'm definitely not saying not to go to university or that it was a waste of time, because I feel like it's all a learning curve, and I feel like all of that tertiary study that I did and those kinds of things were just actually setting me up for this.
Yeah, same. So I was studying law a little bit and was going to be a lawyer, and I'm earning now in my doTERRA business almost $1 million a year. Like it will be $1 million a year by the end of the year. And if I was a lawyer, you know, in my first year, I'd be earning $35,000 a year. It would take me 10 years or so to get to that kind of 6-figure income. And unless I was a principal of a law firm, I don't think I'd ever get to the earnings that I'm earning now, which only took me 2.5 years to get to. And I would be like literally working 15-hour days, never at home, really stressed all the time, and not have that time and financial freedom and just, yeah, presence with my family and my kids, like you said. So
yeah. And when you think about that, it really hits you. But then at the same time, I bet you feel like all of the study that you did, and all of
dude, so helpful, because I can like read and create arguments, and when people are like, you know, a pyramid scheme is rubbish, I can create all this really well-formed response to that because I studied law. I'm a fast reader. You know, a lot of them totally set me up for smashing my doTERRA business as well. But I feel I've also got a lot of people in my team that are successful that have never done any tertiary education. That's what I love about doTERRA. You don't have to have business experience. You don't have to have qualifications. There's so many diverse people from all ages and all backgrounds smashing this business. So it's awesome.
Exactly. And all of the little things, sometimes I feel like, you know, if there's things that you're meant to do, and, you know, this doTERRA thing in the background that kept calling me was like, this is what you're meant to be doing, and everything else was just setting you up for that. So yeah.
It's awesome. And so how has that financial abundance, I guess, impacted your family as well?
Oh, massively. So my husband works away. I think the majority seems like a common occurrence in your interview. But yeah, my husband works away as well, and we obviously don't want him to do that forever. And so the abundance that I'm creating is really allowing a lot of freedom. So he just had 5 months off from December till whatever, April or whatever, 5 months later is.
Yeah.
So, you know, he just had 5 months at home with us, hanging out, going camping and doing all the things that we love, which he probably wouldn't have been able to do if it wasn't for what I'm doing now. And yeah, it's fantastic. And I also really value the fact that I can now, like, he's given me the space to follow my career or follow my dreams, sorry, and do what I want to do. And now I'm creating the abundance where I can allow him to do that, which I think is really important as well. Like, he's worked away, huddled up on a horrible situation for month on, month off, and giving me the space to follow my dreams. Now I can pay back, you know, like I can give him the space to follow his dreams, which I think is pretty special.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and also obviously the residual income factor. So, you know, I can, if something goes wrong with my family, I can actually, because I've set up the foundations of residual income, I can have a month where I don't do, like, if something happens, I can have a month where I focus on my family and I'm still going to get paid and I'm not going to have to worry about the financial situation. So that's really empowering as well.
And you don't have to take sick days, you don't have to take annual leave, you can go on holidays whenever you want, you can be there for your family. I love that. Like my biggest month ever in terms of turnover in our whole team, I was sitting on an island in the Caribbean for the last week and literally did no work, and it was the biggest month ever in our whole business. So it's, to me, that's pretty darn awesome. And then I was away for another 10 days in Northern Ireland, and it's still just churning along nicely, and I did literally no work for those 3 weeks. So
yeah,
awesome.
it's all about setting. And once you've set those foundations, and the beautiful thing is, like you talk, it's setting foundations is what you need to do to acquire residual income. And that sounds very technical and businessy, but literally us setting foundations is actually just changing people's lives.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, we're changing people's lives and, you know, implementing something that's going to help with their entire life and setting up a lifestyle for them. And that's what we call, you know, that's business for us, which is just like mind blowing sometimes.
How amazing is that? So what would be your number one biggest tip to people, you know, interested in building a business but questioning whether this is something they can do? What's your biggest tip for succeeding in doTERRA?
Okay, if they're questioning what they can do, I really think that, you know, to a degree, this businesses can be for anybody of any, and that's the beauty, you know, you really make it what you want it, what you want. So if you've got a passion for fitness, then you can create a business using doTERRA as a vehicle, spreading your message about fitness and health and wellness. If you're really passionate about eliminating chemicals in the home, you can use doTERRA as a vehicle to spread that message and create that lifestyle of reducing chemicals in the home with your doTERRA business. So I feel like you really have to have a look at where your passions lie, because that's going to become your driving force, and that's going to become the people that you create to your business, and that's going to be your strong, you know, your strong point. And obviously, where your passion lies, that's what people are going to be attracted to you if you've got a strong passion, and you show that passion through what you do. So I think, yeah, looking at that and looking at how doTERRA will fit in with that, and it really can fit in with pretty much anything because it's so awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just keeping the momentum going. Like, you really, it is a cyclical business. Obviously, we operate month to month, so you do have to think about keeping the momentum going, and taking the personal development with each rank. Like, I don't know if this is steering away from the question a little bit, but I feel like every rank is really, really important, and every rank that you go through, you grow so much. So you really need to take that time to sit with each rank that you get at, and you know, reflect on what you've accomplished in getting there, and have a look at where you want to go next, and what do you need to work on in yourself to get there, without, you know, getting snowballed by the big end goal. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, I'm feeling you there. Love it. Well, thank you so much for jumping on with us, Leah. It's been really awesome to have your perspective and your wisdom around this business. You are creating something really incredible and just touching so many lives. And I just love your team. I've already interviewed a couple of them on this series, and it's been awesome to hear from them. So
I love my team. I love them all. They're so awesome.
And it's just so fun that we get to work alongside each other. Like we've been doing these immersion days recently where we collaborate and connect and, you know, there are thoughts in our notepads and manifesting and tapping and workshopping our challenges. And I love that. And
and I think those things are really important. Like, you know, we have to drive nearly 2 hours to get to your house to get to the immersion day. And it's worth like every moment of the drive. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I was going to put it out there on your thing. It's so important to go to those things, even if it is a bit of an effort. Like 2 hours in the car with one of my leaders means that's like 2 hours of mentoring each way, as well as all of the things that we learn and co-create during that day. I've got like 2 solid hours on each trip to have a good chat with them and mentor them. So yeah, it's so worth it.
Totally amazing. And we get to go on expenses paid trips as well. I know you guys came to Fiji, which is awesome, and we're going to Uluru in January. So there's just so many. We probably need like 3 days to talk about how incredible the doTERRA business is and how
I know. Yeah, it's a bit hard to limit it.
But thank you so much for sharing with us, Leah. It's been awesome to chat with you. Yeah.